something went on here, something went on there. And
this time on TNT.
It's Jack and Diane wedding coverage with special guest correspondent Donovan.
We play a new game, kind of a story-like thing called Nabesies.
Plus we play British slanguage. Aren't you spawny? That's all coming up right now on TNT.
A little ditty about Jack and Diane. Two American kids doing best they can.
How are you doing, Diane? Oh, goodness, we're off to a crazy start. What a day it's been. We're in London. How you doing, Diane? Where are we here?
Well, I am just losing my mind, if I'm being honest with you. Just to be in the country, in fairness, we couldn't get media credentials to go to Windsor, but we are in England at the same time as Harry and Meghan are getting married. Can you imagine if you told 7-year-old me I would be in the same country at the same time that a commoner was becoming princess? I would have said, you are on glue, sir.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And you really didn't have to say that, actually. We were supposed to say that we're actually right there watching the thing. Anyway,
well, let's set the stage. We're watching it in a pub on TV like the other locals, but I am still wearing a fascinator.
Diane, can you just skip that part and just talk about the event at hand here? We're here at the royal wedding today.
We are indeed, Jack, and I think there's so many reasons in the world to be kind of a downer these days. But the fact that the whole world is holding its collective bated breath to watch the royal family stride confidently into the future is a reason for us all to celebrate today, is it not?
It is. It's a fantastic day. I cannot believe the amount of security in the city. You and I had to take the tube earlier, and I think we got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and we didn't really get there until about 10 a.m.
But Jack, did you notice that they don't really have the letter T in England? They pronounce it CH. So I heard everyone say the tube. So we asked people, can you tell us where the tube is? And they kind of shrugged their shoulders. But once I cottoned on to calling it the tube, people were so helpful on this special, memorable day.
And I have to mention the some of the sayings I've heard today. I heard "blimey" a few times. That's just shocking to me to just hear someone actually say it without it being almost a joke.
You know what else is kind of funny? Is the bellman who was helping me with my luggage called me the C word.
Oh, are you? Oh, yes.
Yes, but when my face turned the color of Grimace from McDonald's, he clarified that was a term of endearment here.
Yes, I saw two chaps patting each other on the back and saying, "Well done, you see." They're all laughing too.
Well, the funny thing is, after I gave him a tip, which you give in pounds, not in dollars over here. Did you know that? They have their own money. Can you imagine?
Yes, I know. And ours doesn't go very far here, our Canadian dollar, does it, Diane?
Well, and this was the joke that I said to him. You call it pounds, but it's still paper. It's still light. And he told me to saw it off, which I Googled, and I gather that just means tip of the morning to you.
You got it. I'm sure it is. So let's talk about the event here. I mean, I think they're getting into the chapel right now. Can you talk about that? Maybe you have a better view from your stool.
Well, it is a blinding galaxy of stars, and I'm talking the Clooneys and the Beckhams and some lesser royals who look unhappy to be here in some ways. Also, 3 of Harry's ex-girlfriends are in attendance today. Can you imagine?
Is that really true?
Well, I read somewhere that he dated a girl named Chelsea Davy for a long time and wanted to marry her. He was just crazy about her, but she didn't want to be a royal.
I noticed that there's a lot of actors here from that show that...
Hey, Jack, she didn't want to be a royal, just like that song by Lordy.
Yeah, no, the whole time I just figured I was thinking George Brett in the Kansas City Royals, that song.
I don't even know what that is. But anyway, did you see when Meghan Markle, on her way to becoming a royal, whizzed by in a motor car? It looked like the one that Cruella de Vil was in 101 Dalmatians. Is it possible it was the same car?
I know, that's incredibly...
I don't remember her being royal, and granted, that one was animated, but it looked the exact same.
I tell you what, this royal family, there's William as well, and it's never going to stop cracking me up that, he looks a lot older than he is, because he has not a lot of hair.
But why is that funny?
It's just because it's kind of, he's so young, and it's always been there. It's almost like looks like he's been 65 since he was 21.
Well, it's funny, to me, Camilla, if you squint, has the same coloring that Princess Diana had, but it looks like she's been left in the dryer for several weeks.
Oh, look, and here comes Prince Charles, and it is true what they say that your ears and nose don't stop growing, is it, Diane?
Well, if you're telling lies, it sure is.
Oh, and the royal family has some secrets to keep. Hey, look at how many horses there are coming this way.
Horsepower indeed. And one of the facts that I read also, Jack, is that some of the flowers in Meghan's bouquet came from the private garden handpicked by Harry himself from his late mother's garden.
Are you serious?
Well, that's why folks get so emotional about days like this. The entire country watched with bated breath as Harry, this young boy, witnessed the death of his mother. And now here he is all these years later. England has been cheering for him. He's late getting married by royal standards. And I think that's why this resonates with people to such a degree.
I do believe it's interesting, too, now that he's married an American woman with African-American heritage. It's very wonderful thing to see. I do believe this could be the beginning of a merger that we haven't seen between America and the UK.
Indeed, and I know the entire country is hoping for tiny little babies, but they don't have a celebrity couple name, do they?
They do not, and I tell you what, the Kardashians better start working on some stuff because I'm pretty sure this is going to be the story for the next 10 or 20 years.
Maybe today their celebrity couple name should simply be Mary.
I have to admit, the Kanye and Kim have some real issues since Kanye was just dusted by Donald Glover a couple of weeks ago, and now this is Meghan Markle being an actress from America. That just must really sting.
I am a big fan of the sentiments that these strong women are making in this wedding today. Meghan Markle's mom, all miles and miles and miles from home, all by herself, walking into that church by herself and saying, "Okay, world, this isn't my background, but here I am." Can you imagine?
Hey, look, what's this crazy? Hey, isn't that, that's Ben Mulrooney's kids acting nuts. Look at that, becoming popular on the internet, I see.
They look like the tiny little masks from Home Alone.
They
missing
sure
front
do.
Teeth and everything, all face slappery of them.
I tell you what, I can see a lot of ad campaigns coming their way.
Well, you can also tell that the Mulrooney kids do not have the time change working in their favor because one of them actually yawned behind the bride just as she's about to walk down the aisle.
Well, that's kids, you know. It's a long flight, as you and I both do. I'm a little tired myself, I gotta say, Diane.
Well, you stayed out all night, Jack, and that's on you.
Again, that's not necessary to say, even because I do remember saying goodnight to my wife in bed at 11 o'clock.
Jessica Mulrooney, Ben's wife and mother of these children, has been called the Pippa of this wedding. Pippa, you might remember, Middleton, Kate Middleton's sister,
yes,
caught the eye and attention of the English paps, which is short for paparazzi, because of her shapely posterior entering the church for William and Kate's wedding.
Well, that is a deep reference there. You're doing your homework, Diane.
Fox News was reporting that Jessica Mulrooney was the Pippa Middleton of this wedding, suggesting that her shapely posterior, when she helped position the train of Meghan Markle's gown, had captured the attention of media from all over the world.
Goodness gracious. Hey, look, there's a couple of crazy Englishmen fighting out front of the bar, and one of them has bit the nose off the other, and the other one's sticking his thumb in his eye.
Well, speaking of acting like dogs, one of the most moving images from this past week that I saw was the Queen traveling in a motor car with Meghan Markle's beloved dog rescue, a beagle named Guy.
Oh, good night. And I heard they're naming their little. Do you think they're gonna get some pets? What kind of pets do they have? The William and Kate. Do they have any pets with their kids?
I know that they have pet peeves because I read an article about their pet peeves in Hello Magazine. William doesn't like people biting their toenails. Can you imagine?
Well, I don't like that either. I tell you that.
Oh well, you're hardly royal, Jack.
Oh, I know. If I saw someone doing that on a plane, I would have to complain and perhaps press the passenger button.
The question now on everyone's minds is, now that we know who designed the gown, where are they going on their honeymoon? Some speculation that Canada might be their first destination as an official couple, seeing as it played such a significant part in their courtship.
Whoa, that's fantastic. I would love to have them. Maybe they could go to the Jasper Park Lodge. That would be a good time to get a good piece of the country. Hey,
do you remember what happened last time you went to the Jasper Park Lodge, Jack?
I do believe, well, let's talk about
remember you pooped yourself in line for the ski
my goodness. My goodness. Hey, remember...
but it was because you were drinking Johnny Walker Black the night before.
Okay. Speaking of weddings are actually... weren't you in the Hyde Park last night getting the green gown, Diane?
Well, I'm not familiar with that term, but I did meet a friend on the internet. It's true.
Yeah, that was quick. We were at the hotel bar, and you were trying out the UK Tinder, and I tell you what, you left the bar in 10 minutes.
Well, the funny thing is, over here, Tinder is called Grindr.
Oh,
and I was able to meet a friend very quickly. Okay. And it was dark when we had an encounter in the park, but he was, suffice to say, very friendly.
Well, it's funny because when you mentioned when you left, there was a woman at the bar, and I wasn't sure what she meant, but she said, throw me some 30 quid, I believe, and she said something about slipping her a length. I'm not sure what that meant.
Well, I think they have some strange language and some strange traditions here.
They sure do.
Suffice to say, when in Rome, when in London, I am all in for whatever adventures may come my way.
I tell you what, we've had a great time. Maybe it's time to get on to the next train, and we're going to Amsterdam.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun? Especially with the 2 new pages of diary that they found of Anne Frank's, in which there are some naughty jokes.
Oh my...
Did you hear that?
What?
That's what they said this past week. They found 2 additional pages of Anne Frank's diary, and there were some, dirty jokes.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yes.
So, Jack and Diane.
Jack and Diane.
You know whose perspective I'd like to hear from
I do.
The royal wedding.
First of all, did you watch?
Well, I mean, honestly, it was more on Twitter or whatever. You couldn't not see it. Every second tweet was pictures or videos of it, so I caught most of it skimming through. I didn't actually put it on and watch it, though, physically.
Right.
I've never been a fan of that stuff, you know, but whatever.
Why?
I'm sure it was fun. I've just, ever since I was a kid, I don't like watching weddings anyway. And when it's that, I remember when I was a kid with Charles and Diana being for 5 hours and just being so bored and not into it whatsoever. And the royal family stuff, all people would have collections of it and go, at the fandemonium of that, I was just never into it. It was like cosplay or something. You know what I mean?
I get it.
That's how... Just couldn't get into it, or like Elvis or something. Remember how people would get into Elvis when we were kids?
Yeah.
Right? Their whole house was full of Elvis shit. It's the same stuff with the Queen folks. The whole royals. I
remember when I remember when Elvis died, and I remember being kind of vaguely aware of him, but he was not, a topic of conversation in our house very much. But I went with my sister to greet Charles and Diana when they landed at the PEI airport in 1980, whatever that was. Mm-hmm. Not sure why. I guess because it was probably a big thing in Sherwood PEI at the time.
Yeah.
They seemed very friendly, very nice or whatever. I've told my story about the Queen.
Yeah, of course.
So I wouldn't really say I'm super into royals at all. But I watched, and I seem to be more into it than anyone else in my house was, and I don't even really know why. I think because it did seem like some of the stuffy old traditions and things were updated, and it really seemed like they wanted to use this opportunity to send a message, and the message was a nice one. I think I get the sense they're both pretty cool people.
Yeah.
And I think that they really made it their own. And
it's one of those things where it's like it's such a spectacle, and if they can do anything to kind of shed lights on things that are necessary and things that have to kind of change in the world, then I can appreciate that for sure. But I didn't watch it.
But given the parameters beyond his control that he was born into, he has obviously found a way to make this thing sort of work for himself. And you can imagine that she was not the obvious choice, but it was the choice that he wanted to make. And there were a few examples of him pushing back to the royal family on stuff that he insisted on. Yeah. And I think that's cool.
No, for sure, definitely. It's kind of that's what has to happen anyway in that whole system. It's really kind of bizarre if you look historically with the bloodlines and how stuff has to be and marrying into things, and it's just nuts.
Like their situation at this time is pretty cool. And you know what? No. It's true. As Diane was saying, there's so much gross garbage that a couple kids found each other and they seem pretty in love. That's a nice thing to capture the world's attention for a day.
Yeah.
But boy, it doesn't take long for the cynics and the whiners and the losers to come out.
No, I know. People like to have a reason to get all hot.
I'll say.
Who's that guy? That's like laugh guy, that more positivity laugh guy.
Oh, we're gonna play Nabes.
Oh, Nabesies?
Yeah, should we wait till after the break and play Nabesies?
Well, let's wait till after, because I still want it. Let's also wait till after, but I want to hear Donovan's breakdown of the event.
Oh, of course.
He was there, and he had a lot to do with it.
But we have a couple minutes before the break, so should we do the big announce now?
Yeah, let's do that right now.
So, buds, we had so many generous offers from so many of you for, not even kidding, places to stay, offers of dinner, places to host the 150 party. They were all awesome. And to be crystal clear, we're so last minute about all of this stuff that we have, it's not that we've rebuffed or decided against any of the options that were offered to us. They were all great.
Yeah.
But the truth is, we're both the kind of guys that are like, oh man, suddenly that's next Thursday. What are we going to do? Yeah. So we make these kind of snap decisions that feel right at the time, and that's kind of served us pretty well on this little journey.
Yes.
So tell the people what we've come up with.
Well, we've decided that we're going to be doing our 150th episode spectacular in London, Ontario at Rum Runners.
So we're going to record our show in London live. Yes. And so we'll release our 150th episode as a live spectacular.
Bang!
Because the people have been saying, when are you going to release some of the live shows? And it feels like this is a special thing that we can do in a special town on a special Saturday night.
Yep.
And we're really excited about that.
It's going to be a good time.
So if you were thinking of coming, London is probably the place to come if any Torontonians want to be there to mark this magic thing. And maybe we can get some bod carpooling going too if people want to come down.
Yeah, bod pooling.
Some bod pooling, because it promises to be a really fun evening. It's a really special evening for us. They all will be, all the shows, but this 150 in London will be especially great, and we couldn't have done it without you, buds. So there you go. There's the big announcement, bud.
That's it. 150 in London, Ontario.
It's Canadianity 150. Let's take a break, bud.
Crunch, 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 crunch. Thanks a lot, baby. Get out of here. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Crunch, 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 crunch.
Well, it's Jack and Diane. We're back, except back at the hotel. This morning I got a note under my door. Diane saying she's ill and she's not going to make it. She also told me not to knock on her door. So I've been in this position before, and I just think she's going to have a good time tonight and enjoying her weekend in London. So I don't know how I did it, but I ran into him on the street, and I somehow finagled the legendary Sir Donovan. How are you, Donovan?
Hey, what are you?
Hey, Donovan, how are you?
I'm well. Having me on as an expert, yeah?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, we all know not only are you a legendary music producer, but you do have a very special relationship with the Queen, and apparently you had something to do with the actual wedding itself today.
This is the challenge I find myself faced with, yeah? I was the one that introduced Miss Meghan Markle to Prince Randy, as he's known in private circles.
Well, how is that?
Prince Randy? You think just because he's a prince, he's not horny?
Oh, well, okay.
He's known as Prince Randy to those of us close to the family, including the Queen.
Okay,
It's a bit of a joke inside, but the Queen and Prince Philip definitely know that he's Prince Randy. So the fact that he met someone that he could settle down with was in and of itself a surprise. But I said to the Queen beforehand, I think I found the girl for Prince Randy.
Well, really, you did? You just found her? How did you find Meghan Markle?
Well, I was asked to consult on the music for the series Suits.
Okay.
So I was a music consultant, yeah? And I saw this, what's the word? Luminous woman on screen. Mm-hmm. And it was Meghan Markle. Markle. Meghan Markle.
Yes.
So I said, I bet Prince Randy would fancy that.
Oh, really? So just kind of put two and two together in your mind there, and
the only thing I had to find out was whether or not she was on the GAT.
Oh,
because Prince Harry is on the dance, but he's not on the GAT.
Okay. Can you talk about the ceremony yesterday? Did you enjoy it? Did you have a good seat for it?
I actually didn't end up attending, and I'll tell you why. I was so involved with the selection of music, and Stand By Me was me. That was my idea, yeah?
Oh, really?
The cellist was me. And we had to play 3 songs because the first was when they were signing the documents, and then the second 2 while they were having a quick shag, yeah, before they came back out into the church.
What's that?
It's tradition. Come on. Just because Fleet Street doesn't report it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Everyone knows. They're young and in love.
Okay.
They sign the documents, quick shag, bit of a makeup touch-up, and then they come back to get in. So the last minute, Elty called me, crying, didn't have a seat, wasn't invited. And I was like, Elty, you sit where I was. What you?
Oh, really? That's great. You brought one. That was your idea.
It was my idea for Elty to go. And he played last night. He played Candle in the Wind last night at the reception. Mm-hmm. I was like, can you change the wind to Megan? Candle in Megan.
Is it true that he wanted to do I'm Still Standing, but you said, no, that's not appropriate?
Yeah, it's not appropriate. It was either Elton or Phil Collins singing In the Harry Tonight.
Oh, yeah. Well.
Which doesn't make a great deal of sense now that I hear it aloud. I think we made the right decision, yeah?
perhaps what would have been a great idea, and I know he's a bit of a recluse, but yesterday was the actual 40th anniversary of the release of Sultans of Swing, and Harry doesn't mind if it were.
Oh,
How
that
about
would have been a nice tie-in, Jack. I see what you did there, huh?
Yeah.
Jack!
Obviously the music, the ceremony was fantastic. What happened after the fact? Can you give us a little peek into the backstage and the after show parties?
Well, I'm not sure what happened for, like, the Clooneys and the Beckhams and who's the guy from Carpool Karaoke?
Yeah, the Corgans.
James
James
Corden.
Yeah, James
Corgi,
Corden.
we call him, because he looks a bit like a dog, yeah?
Yeah, a little bit.
I went with the Queen. We had to put Prince Philip in bed for a rest, and the Queen and I had a gin and tonic on the edge of her bed.
Really?
Just to take the edge off. She quite likes Meghan Markle and her dog,
does.
Guy.
Oh, they have a dog. Guy.
Well, Meghan Markle has a rescue dog named Guy, who
Is that
actually
true?
travelled with the Queen.
Wow. So where did they go on where they're going on their honeymoon? Can you tell me about that?
St. John, New Brunswick.
Is that true?
It is. They have a Panago. Plus, they also have great rates at the Delta.
That sounds fantastic. Well, thank you very much for coming on as usual, and maybe you can come back next week, and if Diane doesn't come back.
Can I ask you a question, Jack?
What's that?
As a commoner, as someone who doesn't know much about the royal family, as someone who doesn't have a relationship with the Queen, as someone who's not one of England's foremost royal watchers and legendary music producers,
Okay.
was it still interesting to you?
What was interesting?
Was it still interesting, the royal wedding?
Oh, absolutely, yes, for sure. To see you was... Just to see you that was enough.
Oh, Jack, you flatter me. Jack rhymes
you
with
know.
Jack. Are you on the
That's
Jack?
I am on the Jack, actually.
I've got a nickname for you.
What's that?
Union Jack.
Jack Diane.
What is
Thanks
that
for coming.
sound?
Thanks for coming, Donovan. That's our theme song.
Oh, I produced this with what's his name, the little guy who's angry.
Oh, John Mellencamp, yes.
That's right. Back when he was
Yeah.
Cougar, yeah?
Yes, did he smoke a lot of cigarettes in that session?
Oh, he was on the docks, yeah. Not like Prince Harry, but still quite a bit.
Was he angry, though? Did he fire up and get angry in the studio at all?
I mean, in the way that, like, a tiny piglet could. It was like, what's that by my ankles? Oh, it's John Cougar having a dart and freaking out. It takes a lot to get me rattled, you understand.
Thanks for coming on, Donovan.
Thank you, Union Jack.
Wow, Donovan. What a
Donny!
breakdown. What a breakdown. Love it.
And it's over
Jack.
forever. Unless they have a kid. I wonder if they're going to have a kid really... No, I don't. It's all right. We can move on from the wedding.
There's a kid on the way already.
But I was all in this weekend. I was all in.
Let's play Navesies.
Okay? Taggart,
Navesies. Yeah.
it is so cold and rainy here. And it feels like this is a very unusual spring weather-wise.
Well, it's raining here. Long weekend raining, which is kind of a bummer, but we're having a little spot of sun almost right now. I'll tell you what.
What
not
were
bad.
your plans if it wasn't raining?
Well, we were supposed to be doing some landscaping in the backyard and planting. You know, it's that
Yep.
everything's soft and ready to go. So we were going to put some stones around, and then we were also going to level out some areas, get some things. It was supposed to be a 3-day affair in the backyard, but now all we've done is been able to just carry stones through the back and place them on top of the ground instead of inside the ground.
Are you hiring some dudes to do it, or you guys are doing that yourself?
No, we're doing it. It's not a big deal. It's easy. Just we're doing it rustic style. You know, where you just cut it into the ground and there's grass around it.
Love the rustic
That's
styles.
Yeah.
Well, I know you've been wondering what the results of my pH level were.
Yeah, holy moly, what's the deal?
So if it was between 5 and 6, I could get it. No. If it was between 5 and 6, I couldn't overseed. If it was between 6 and 7, I could, right?
Yeah.
It came in at 5.96.
Woo.
So I went to Agri-Mart and I says, it came in at 5.96. Is that a hard 6? And he said, no. Here's what you need to do. I need 30 tons of lime. I need a tractor that's 60 horsepower or more. I spread the lime and then right away I overseed and just hope for the best.
Okay. That's what you're doing?
Well, I need to get my hands on 30 tons of lime first.
That's crazy. How much does that cost? How much is 1 ton of lime?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I am into, if I'm going to do this, and life is about choices, I don't have to.
One of my favorite parts of TNT is the dollars and cents.
Is it?
Yeah.
I feel
we
might as well talk about it.
No, we're so transparent. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, this is how much it is.
This is how much it is.
Okay.
This is my choice, and maybe the buds will want to weigh in on this because people seem to like this stuff.
So maybe there's a connection out east for some lime, bud.
Yeah, the lime of my life guy. I have a hookup. I have a lime guy who can deliver 30 tons here.
You have a lime wire?
I do.
Okay.
So here's what it would cost, because there's a certain number of pounds per acre of lime. The lime is money well spent because even if the overseeding doesn't work, you still need to lime your land and the lime will stay in the ground.
Yeah.
But I might be out the grass seed if the overseeding doesn't work. So this is the roll of the dice. The lime is going to be about $12.50 delivered.
Yeah.
And the grass seed is probably another $800 or $900. So I'm probably looking at $2,500 all in.
It's always that. It's always that. Everything you ever between $2,500 and $3,500 is what happens with you. Every story. I love it. I don't love it, but it's just always that.
That's always the figure.
It's always
so it's a bit of a roll of the dice. These are my options. Because our field is 8 acres. So I can either just say, you know what? The field is going to be lawn. I'm going to have an 8-acre lawn. So I need to trade my ride-on mower for more of a tractor and just mow it. I can spend $2,500 to overseed it, and it might work. Or I can just return the soil and start from scratch. Or I can say to a local farmer, you know what, bud? Have at her, it's all yours. But then suddenly if they plant corn or something, I can't see my view anymore.
Damn.
I know.
This is a conundrum.
Well, it's not really. And again, not a problem, just a choice. But it's one of those things that I usually am a pretty swift decision maker. I don't know what to do.
This is like a flip a coin deal.
Yeah.
Oof.
So there you go. And then I just read something this morning that there are so many dandelions on my lawn and in my field right now. And I just read something in passing. I didn't read the whole thing. But it sounds like dandelions are great for bees. Bees are having a really hard year. So it said, let your dandelions ride this year. Bees need them more than ever.
All right.
So then I'm like, well, maybe I should just leave it.
Let it ride.
Do you know what I
Let
mean?
the yellow ride. Let it ride, bud.
Might be what I do.
How about this? Let's do a Nabesies.
Okay, we'll play some Nabesies.
Ready?
Yes.
This is my outside front yard music sounds. Okay. Nabesy!
Oh, there he is. Hey.
Hey, how you doing, Nabesy?
Good. Just Nabesy. I like how you call me that every single time. I'm just running down to Sobeys real quick.
You watching the hockey tonight?
I don't. Well, are you?
Oh, of course. You want to come by? You want to come by? I got a 2-4 in the.
I can't watch it.
2-4, May 2-4.
Yeah.
2-4 in the. You know. You want a deck? I got a deck. Come back on the deck. Let's have a deck on the deck.
Oh, I see. Or are you doing that awesome thing where you put your TV outside with the big speaker and watch it on the deck?
Yeah, bud. You coming over or what? You know, I got, I got all kinds of, I got good eats. I got sliders. I got meatballs. I got, I even got some naan bread coming.
Do you know what?
What?
To be honest, I'm kind of turned off meatballs ever since. Do you know Bonnie, who lives across the street? She got that dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, she feeds it President's Choice meatballs, right?
So it's leaving you some treatsies, eh?
Well, it's like they're the same size and shape when they get passed.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though. I'll cut your grass if you come over to my party tonight.
Okay, because the last time you said you'd cut my grass, it was a marijuana reference that kind of sailed over my head. Is
yeah,
that...
it was just, that's what I meant again.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. Yeah.
Can I be honest with you?
Hey, man. I'm just trying to have a good life here. I'm enjoying my neighborhood.
I know. I want to be honest with you.
Watching the game in the backyard, you know, just want to know if you come by. I know you watch it sometimes. If like I'll have it out there and I'll see you watching anyway from your house.
You can see that?
Yeah. So why don't you just get the hell down here and come out tonight?
I want to be honest with you because I feel like you deserve that.
All right.
My wife thinks you're an a-hole.
Well.
And so when I say I'm going over there, she says, and I'm just being honest because I want you to know, she says, "Why are you going to that a-holes again?" Or some version of that with the word a-hole in it.
Tell your wife, welcome to the club, because every woman in this neighborhood thinks I'm an asshole. So that's no biggie. Tell her I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry for being loud.
Can I ask you a question?
I'm addicted to loud is what I gotta say, you know. Just
why doesn't it bother you that everyone hates you?
Can't stop.
Why doesn't it bother you that everyone hates you? What?
It doesn't, because I just gotta be me.
Huh.
That's why we're neighbsies, right? You don't pick them, but you don't, what is it? Somehow you don't get what you want, but you get what you need. That's me. You're neighbsy.
Well, I was thinking like neighbors are the family that you don't choose. Is that how that goes?
Something like that. But you know what? I'm gonna have the baseball game on in an hour. You come over to that too if you want. I got the sunken floor in the basement, the grotto. Come on down.
You have a grotto?
Yeah. Why do you think the girls all hate me? They come over and they go, "That place, they can't let a girl in there."
What goes on down there?
They come in there and all of a sudden the clothes fall off.
No way.
It's just the way it is in this neighborhood. They're mad at me because I don't spend time enough with them. Not your wife, of course.
Well, yeah.
Not your wife, nothing there.
Hey, can I confess something?
What's that?
Between you and me, I think my wife is a bit of an a-hole.
Oh, hey.
And
Why do you think I'm single, Nabesy?
I don't know what to do about that.
Grow a pair and get rid of her? Come on over. I come at 3 o'clock.
So where do you meet chicks?
I don't. They meet me.
God, you're amazing.
That's right. Now come on over, man. I'll show you how to be cool.
Can I confess something?
Listen, if you come over, I won't make references to drugs to you. I'll just have them out laying around.
I gotta tell you, Nabesy, I thought you were a bit of an a-hole too. It wasn't even my wife that said that. It was me saying that. But hearing you talk, you're cool.
You're damn right I am. Wait till you see all the channels I got down there. I got stuff that you don't even know you liked.
So is it clothing optional in the grotto?
Yeah, you wear your clothes.
What if I don't have a very big bird?
Hey, listen, if you want to, use the place for something, you want to meet a girl and bring her over, that's cool too. I'll leave a key in the back.
I just don't know how I could. Well, I guess I could bring my wife over because we live right next door.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. You just told me you don't like her and she's an asshole.
Well, she is.
Maybe you should spice up your life, get something fresh.
Oh, I wouldn't feel good about that, I don't think.
Come on, why do you think they call me Cheatin' Charlie?
Yeah, but who are you cheating on?
Most of the wives in the neighborhood. I'm like Ben Affleck around here.
A grotto, you say?
Yeah. Sometimes I'll just like walk around with no clothes on by mistake. You know what I mean?
But it's not really a mistake.
Yeah.
You're just advertising.
Yeah, it's like when, what's her name? Nacheska, whatever her name is. She comes jogging by. Sometimes I forget my pants when I'm going to the bathroom.
No.
Yeah, but I keep it, you know, you have to look in to see it, so it's not like I'm being creepy or nothing.
Such a dish. Take a break, bud.
Hey, Bob.
This episode of Taggart And Torrens is brought to you in part by Chipotle. Chipotle, chips and guac, tacos, and enchiladas. We'll be right back.
Hey,
Hello?
Jonathan. Hey.
Hey?
Jonathan.
Yeah?
Hey, Jonathan.
What?
I remember when I was in the, like the 80s, there was like this super annoying guy
Yeah?
who I think I was just standing there and two kids were talking about rap music.
Yeah?
And then the other guy came up and it was like the big classic, like, you know, super hick guy who hates rap and anything urban, right? So you be the guy like just talking about rap, and I'll be the annoying guy coming up.
Okay. It's weird. It's like poems, but there's like a beat, but there isn't like a lot of music. It's like
Fuck off! Put the needle on the record, Anna.
What's your problem, man? It's just
nothing. It's not even real. Like, so stupid. Put the needle on the record, Anna. Fuck off!
it makes me feel something though, and I'm just telling my friends that I like rap music. I don't understand why you seem so angry.
I know what I'm saying. This is 1983 or whatever. I'm just hearing it, like, you know, there's not. It's like it's not going anywhere. Like, the kids are shocked and upset that he said it, and he's just being like super, like, ignorant, like total loser.
This is, I mean,
you remember those? Remember those
course.
guys?
But I think the modern equivalent of those guys is the internet.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
When
Definitely.
you say, "Nice day," and someone says, "Go back to the park, J-Rock."
Yeah,
Like,
stick
whoa.
to the jokes, dude.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Those dudes on the internet.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, the looking for a fight guy.
Yeah, like coming in all in their face.
Shut up.
Yeah, with the big
what do you mean,
fuck
shut up?
off. Big loud is bellowing.
Or you're drinking at the fountain and they like punch you in the ribs on the way by.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Nerds.
Or swing their backpack at you as they go by all hard.
Ugh.
The backpack hit. The turn, the
Or
side
how about
turn.
the friend who isn't even the bully, but the friend who's like, "Jack him, bro. Hit him, bud."
Yeah,
like
or
that
the
guy?
that, or tap in the head while you're on the drinking at the fountain, so you smash your mouth against it. That's the other arsehole. I remember seeing that one many times. But actually, I saw it once with a bully that was drinking, and this guy, that, you know, like the crazy guy that would jump off the roof. I think his name was like Chris Babini. He was like super, like, you know, like could do all the athletic stuff in the school and was always like probably on Ritalin or something.
But never played like on actual teams.
Yeah, too crazy to be organized, and he might have his name wrong, but this bully guy was drinking at the fountain, and he walked by him and just smacked his head right into the thing, and then the guy's like, "Ugh!" And he's like, "Ha ha!" Runs out of the room.
Brutal.
It was one for the little guy.
Brutal.
We should do a bit on bullies someday.
Yes, we should.
Yeah.
It's interesting through...
Because it hasn't stopped at all. Like, it's, if anything, it's worse now. It's worse because of the ease of having to being able to insult somebody. Before, you had to be face to face to somebody to insult them. Now you don't even have to know who they are, and you can be anonymous. It's just so it's way overblown. Because everything you say will be scrutinized if you have up to a certain amount of people that watch or listen to what you do. So there's going to be a percentage of those people that are just born assholes and will die assholes. It's a bummer.
And yet you watch it through the eyes of our kids at the age they're at. Might be a little different for the boys because they're that much older now. But what constitutes bullying in grade 1 is anything from you can't play with us, which, you know, at that age is kind of learning to express yourself and say what you mean and calibrate your verbal barometer so that you're saying it in a way that isn't mean or unnecessarily harsh. Yeah, but also someone saying, I want to read when it's supposed to be your turn to read. That occupies such meaningful real estate in their minds. For sure. And I always find that it's a challenge sometimes to give it the weight it deserves in their mind and remember that it is a huge deal. Yeah. If someone said, we're going to play together at recess, and at the last minute they're like, actually, I'm going to play with someone else, that is devastating. It is, because that's all you're doing at that time, and it's not being accepted for no reason, for someone just to kind of start for some reason wanting to be with somebody away from other people, and just the idea of kind of segregating your friends, trying to be with one person but not be with this person when you're with that person. You see it already. And you can't play with us today, but you can play with us tomorrow. And no, I know, it's nuts. Like, my daughter came home crying one day just because there was, and this was a couple years ago, or maybe when she was either in grade 1 or kindergarten, so really babies pretty much. At recess, one of the older kids, maybe a couple grades, so still really young, organized like a little dance thing for recess. So all the kids were dancing together, but then but Annalise, you can't play with us. You have to go over there. Right. So she's just, all she could do was just go and cry because she didn't understand why. It's the same thing. Like, when you see it that young, it's like, it's everything to them. It's a terrible thing to have to deal with when you're just trying to have fun at recess, you know. They grow a thick skin. It has to happen to some degree, but it's just I guarantee it's the parents are like that for the kid to act like that. You don't just pick up and decide to pick who your friends are unless you see it with your own eyes. For sure. And you even see it like when you're communicating with some kids and you can tell that they're not hearing you, or it doesn't land, or it's because that's not how they're used to being talked to. Yeah. You get the sense that a lot of kids are talked to like, Dennis, go to the basement. Get out of my face. You're bugging me. Yeah. So if you say, excuse me, I'm sorry, but could you pass me that thing? It's like they don't even hear on that frequency. Like the, go to bed. Now! Yeah. That classic commercial with the kids trying to get the dad to fix the car, but he's all banged up on whiskey. This was an interesting conversation I had, and I can't remember if I told you about it at the time. I was sitting on a plane next to a child psychologist, and I was talking about, Indy being in grade 1 and just the social dynamics of the classroom, and she said, here's what people forget. Think of a calendar year. Some babies in that room were born in January, and some were born in December. So these are people that are 6 who might actually be a year apart in age. So it's quite possible that the kid sitting in the desk next to your kid was walking on the day they were born. Yeah. So Indy was born in November. There are kids in her class that were born in January. That's almost a full year developmentally ahead, and we often forget that. And at the age of 6, 1 year difference is huge. Oh yeah, well in sports they know about that. So if you're late in the year, they'll put you with the group ahead, or if you're early, vice versa, right? Yeah. That's how, if it's a physical difference to that degree, it's clearly a mental difference as well.
you know, when you're in that early of an age, for sure.
Well, and then you imagine that boys develop mentally slower than girls. So if you're a November baby boy in with a classroom of people, you could almost feel 2 years behind in some cases as you get older. And obviously it makes a bigger difference at different ages and stages. But it just really landed when she said that, because I was like, wow, right. Indy is 11 months younger than some of the kids in her class.
And some of the other, like for Annalise, for example, she has 2 older brothers that also accelerates all that stuff because she sees everything that they do.
Right.
So, the perspectives of the kids.
There you go. We're going to play Slangwich.
Yeah, we're going to play Slangwich.
It's one of our favorites. This is the British edition.
Yeah, let's get a jam going for the intro of it.
Okay.
Good old Slangwich.
Perfect.
Because nobody can lay down slang better than the Brits, right?
So here's how it works. We're going to give each other phrases, and the other person has to guess what... By the way, I'm back. I feel like after my sinus lift...
Yes.
It was probably 6 days where I didn't quite feel like myself. And I had this thin veil of... there was a concrete girder on my forehead, but I'm back now. I feel great.
Man, that's crazy stuff, and I'm glad to hear that.
So we'll give each other phrases. We have to guess what it means. So these are all real phrases.
Yeah.
As opposed to, is this real or fake? These are all real phrases, and you have to guess what it means. Who's going first?
I'm going first, but I have to make a point first by listening to that great jam by the Sex Pistols, Anarchy in the UK. Like, when I listened to it when I was a kid, everybody used to say that band were like shit musicians and could barely play. And then you listen to that song and you hear how awesome it actually is, like the parts and the chords and the lyrics and the melodies, and it's compared to like if you put on like Blink 182 or something now, or see them live, and it's all over the place. Like, that to me is like a mess compared to that when we were kids, that being a mess. Just the difference of where, I don't know, the craft and the artistry is gone.
Well, I think
there's incredible musicians and bands that are out now, but I'm talking about some of those punky pop bands that are bigger than the Sex Pistols ever were. You know?
What I'm able to understand now about the Sex Pistols is the raw emotion and swagger, for lack of a better term, and spirit is, I guess, the right word. The spirit of it, and that I didn't get when I first heard them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, yeah, and the artistic expression, like with Malcolm McLaren's Vision, like how solid everything, like the way they look, the campaigns with the artwork, the postering, having Andy Warhol involved, like they were a statement beyond. Everything that they did was like to make a point, you know what I mean? And it was all in that vein, like just crazy. Underrated now because it's just so much music has come and gone, but I'm sure there will be if you ever have a chance to dig into their stuff, that first record's nuts.
Okay, so maybe this is maybe therein lies the answer, but to my less sophisticated ears, I would say Blink 182 is pretty tight.
Not like playing in a room together. Maybe they
really
put an album tightly together. That's not the biggest deal.
So is your knock against them that they're kind of manufactured and soulless, or that they're not good players?
In the late 70s, you didn't have the fixing you can do now. You could cut the hell out of tape and fix it to a degree, but like you were what you were as a band in 1977, 78, like in a studio. There was no fixing much in terms of they're probably close to as live as they were in the studio. 20 years later, that's a whole new ball game, because you can make an album that sounds brilliant and be terrible live. So anyway, that's that for that. My point.
So have you seen Blink 182 play live?
Yeah, a bunch of times. They're shit.
They are.
They're terrible.
Do you think Travis is a bad drummer?
He's all right. I mean, he's probably one of the highlights of it, but it's still kind of like watching a car with 3 wheels and one maybe breaking.
Right.
Let's play slanglish.
Interesting. Okay, I'll go first. You ready?
Yeah.
That guy is all mouth and no trousers. He's all mouth and no trousers.
He's got all talk because he's got no sack, right?
No what?
He's all talk, but he's got no actual where it counts.
Yeah, all talk, no action.
Yeah, there you go.
He's all mouth and no trousers.
Okay, how about this? You know him over there, he's a curtain twitcher, he is.
Nosy neighbor.
Yeah, you got curtain twitcher.
I've actually heard that before. Do you think Nabesies was a curtain twitcher?
He's obsessed with anything that happens on the street. He's a bloody curtain twitcher, but he still won't sign for our packages. Hey, that guy, like he's always looking out the window, but he won't answer the door.
You know what happened on Saturday? It was a damp squib.
Oh.
It was a damp squib.
Is that just like raining all day?
Something that fails on all counts. It's a reference to a small explosive charge that would fail if it was wet. Saturday was nothing but a damp squib.
Oh, man. Okay, how about this? Oh, the meeting last night was a dog's dinner. A dog's dinner it was.
I'm guessing it's like dog's breakfast. So like all over the place?
A mess, yeah.
A dog's dinner. Okay. You know, the thing that you can say about Travis is he knows one's onions.
He knows someone's like sense.
To be well versed.
Oh, okay, yeah.
John knows his onions about cars.
Okay, how about this one? I won't have you faffing all day.
Faffin?
If you're going to faff, I
How
won't
do
have
you
you
spell it?
faffing all day. Faff.
F-A-F-F?
Yeah.
Like BS.
No, wasting time.
Oh, you're faffin.
Yeah.
Should we do the rumpy pumpy?
The rumpy pumpy?
Should we do the rumpy pumpy?
That sounds like getting it on, no?
Yeah. The rumpy pumpy. Should we do the rumpy pumpy?
How about this one? I'm Hank Marvin over here. I'm Hank Marvin over here. Hank Marvin.
I have no idea.
Come on, Mom. I'm Hank Marvin over here. Give me some eggs.
Oh, starving.
Hank Marvin is Cockney for starving.
Cockney rhyming slang. Wow. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Do you know Colin? He's the dog's danglies.
Sounds like a greasy, maybe?
He's the dog's danglies.
Like a wank? A dick?
He's the best.
Oh my god, really? The best. The best.
Have you met Jeremy Taggart? He's the dog's danglies. He's just the dog's danglies.
Okay, how about this one? It seems I've caught the lurgy, I have.
Lurgy?
Yeah.
Is that rhyming slang too?
Not really.
Lurgy.
I've caught the lurgy.
This is a Hail Mary, but does it have something to do with church, like the clergy?
It's when you're suffering from cold or flu-like symptoms, Jonathan.
Ah.
The allergy, I would assume, that comes from lurgy.
Guess what, Jeremy? I'm
What's that?
skint for the weekend. I'm skint.
You've got nothing, eh? Here's a few shekels.
How'd you know that?
Skint, I knew that one from reading Ur Woolley comics as a young lad.
Come on.
Scottish comics, oh yeah, Skint.
I'm skint at the weekend.
Yeah. I was minging.
Manging?
Yeah. I had that sandwich over there and it was minging.
On the turn, gone bad?
Yeah, anything bad. It's like, I believe you've become a little minging to me.
Okay, last one, ready?
Okay.
See the girl with the nice baps?
No, that's gotta be boobies.
I was about to close the deal until you queered my pitch.
Queered my pitch?
Yep.
Oh, wow. I don't know. That's, I'm gonna say, like, shocked him?
Yeah, spoiled my efforts. Why did you have to queer my pips? No. Why'd you have to queer my pitch with the girl with the nice baps?
How about this one? Hey, Greg. I'm out tonight. I'm on the pool tonight.
Another night what?
Huh?
Another
I'm
night
on the
what?
pool. I'm on the pool tonight, mate.
Looking for that special someone, yeah?
Yeah, I'm on the pool, mate.
Jeremy,
Yes.
we should go. We don't have time to wag off anymore.
All right. No more over-egg the pudding. We don't want to over-egg the pudding, do we?
It's all a load of tosh.
Oh, find it in the pants. Give me some par for some pear-shaped peas.
We've done enough of taking the mickey.
Oh, go on and got what core?
Getting steamed tonight for May 2 for.
Good night and put on the patio lanterns.
Tomorrow I'll be skive.
Night, love.
Night, love.
Doom gang gang go doom gang, jubon bounce, doom 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 bam bam, tika doom down.